When an aggregator asks about their competitive position, there are usually three things that they want to know, and they're all connected. First, am I even reaching the same customer as my competitor is? Second, when a customer can order from both of us, who's cheaper to order from? And third, who gets the food there faster? Coverage, delivery fee, and delivery time, these are the three pillars of why a customer picks one platform over another, and Burger Index tracks all of these three pin by pin historically across any two platforms that you want to compare. So we're going to go answer all three questions in one go. So the first thing that you want to do is go to aggregators and coverage. So at the top here, you can set your filters. For now, I'm just going to have it in one city in Singapore. Then the platforms I'm going to be analyzing, foodpanda and Grab. And then the store type, if you want to compare, like, for example, food or non-food, which like retail data, you can do so as well. And the crawl date. So the crawl date is when the data was last extracted. So I'm just going to have last 7 days. You can do last 45 days, custom start date, or all, which is the historical data. And then if there's a specific time, in this case, we only have the 1400 hours, you can select them as well. So here the summary tab opens with coverage by pin. So you can start here. The first section is stores loaded, and this is where you answer the coverage question directly. So here in the first row, you can see the max number of brands loaded, the peak number of brands loaded in any single pin across the city. So here you can see the summary tab opens with the coverage by pin. So you can start here. Here, the summary tab opens with coverage by pin. You can start here. The first section is stores loaded, as you can see, and this is where you answer the coverage question directly. So the first row is max number of brands loaded. The peak number of brands loaded at any single pin across the entire city. If foodpanda shows, for example, 4,693 and Grab shows 293, foodpanda is loading significantly more brands at its best pins. Then you have the second row, which is average exclusive brands. So this is the brands that only exist on one platform and not the other. And this is your exclusive inventory advantage or the gap that you need to close. And of course, you can break these down by specific pin for any of these if you would like. Next, you have the average number of brands loaded, the citywide average across all pin. This is normalizes the picture so you're not misled by one exceptional location. And alongside that, you have the average number of open brands loaded. So how many of those are actually live and taking orders. Below that, you have the delivery distance section that shows you the range. So brands are loaded and broken down into distance bands of 0.2 to 2 kilometers, then 2 to 5 kilometers, 5 to 10, etc. If foodpanda's coverage is concentrated in the 0 to 5 kilometer area range, and Grab, for example, is loading strongly at the 10 plus kilometers, that's not a brand count difference, it's a structural reach difference. But in this case, foodpanda is serving more neighborhoods than what Grab is even present in. As I mentioned before, you can select the plus sign to see the data broken down pin by pin, or you can also search a specific area in the city and then analyze that specific pin data. So now if you're just scrolling down a bit, you can see delivery fee section. This is shown the average delivery fee and the max delivery fee. So average delivery fee is your headline number. So for example, if foodpanda is averaging 12.5 and Grab is 2.48 across Singapore, that's quite a meaningful price advantage Grab holds, and it should be showing up in customer acquisition. If it's not, that's a signal worth digging into. And of course, you can always use the map at the same process done before, where you can see the coverage by pin or break it down here with the plus sign. This is where you would find anomalies. So a specific zone in Singapore where your fees spike well above the competitors for reasons that might be worth investigating operationally. And because all of this is historically indexed, you can also pull up any of the past crawl date and see exactly what those fee levels look like before and after a pricing change for foodpanda or Grab. And if they ran a reduced fee promotion last quarter, you'll be able to see that. Still on the summary tab, you can look here at the bottom, we see delivery time section. So the average delivery time gives you the citywide comparison. So if foodpanda is averaging 36 minutes and Grab is at 32 minutes across Singapore for delivery time, that's a 4-minute structural advantage. For a customer deciding, between two platforms showing the same restaurant, that difference can often be decisive. This tells you whether your speed advantage is broad-based or concentrated at a very few well-performing pins. And that helps when you have the breakdown pin by pin. And of course, you always can click and download individual pins because city averages can mask neighborhoods where their story flips entirely, and there may be areas where Grab is meaningfully faster than foodpanda, or foodpanda doesn't even deliver to, and those are the exact zones worth flagging for operational attention. That data is pulled from both the listing page and the checkout page, so it reflects the actual times customers see when they're making their ordering decision and not an internal estimate from our end. Now we're clicked into the brands tab. This is where all three metrics come together at brand level. For every brand in Singapore, over 21,000 of them, you can see in a single row how many locations that brand has in the city and how many are loaded on each platform, the delivery fee per platform, the distance per platform, and the delivery time per platform. So for something here like McDonald's, we can see that 361 locations are loaded for Grab, whereas on foodpandas we have only 324 locations with a delivery fee of 10.99, whereas for Grab it is 3.89. You can immediately see if a major brand is being served better, cheaper, faster, more locations on the competitor's platform than on yours. And you can, of course, sort by any column to surface the biggest gaps. Here you can sort by locations. You can see all of the locations that foodpanda does not have, whereas Grab has most of them. You can also sort by delivery fee descending to find the brands most at risk. You can sort by time to find where you have the strongest speed advantage to promote. And of course, this view is fully downloadable. So if a commercial team or BD team lead wants to work from this data offline, it's in one click. Now going into the cuisine tab, this will give you the delivery distance broken down by food category, split by distance span. So you can ask, for Chinese food specifically, how many brands does foodpanda load versus Grab? Where does it collapse at longer distances? This is very useful for cuisine-specific commercial strategy. If you're running a campaign around a particular food category, you can see exactly what that competitive landscape looks like for that segment before you go in. Coverage, fee, and time are three separate questions, but they tell one story. What is the actual experience of ordering from one platform versus a competitor from any given pin in any given city? Coverage tells you whether you're in the game. Fee tells you whether you're the cheaper choice. Times tells you whether you're the faster one. All three side by side historically, indexed pin by pin. That's what coverage gives you.